frankly speaking, the first opportunity I crashed it. Then I thought that, next time I need to prepare it well.
Welcome to Women Who Lead. I'm your host, Jess Carr, business leader, mother, and breadwinner in my family. Join me as I interview interesting and remarkable women from around the world on what it takes to be successful in career and life. My guest today is Jane Yan. Based in Shanghai, she is the HR director of Sodexo Greater China. She is responsible for talent attraction, development, and all people-related matters. Since April this year, Jane has taken on an extended role as the general manager for Central and West China. She is pioneering the development of this new geographic area for her business. Jane's story is one of perseverance and planning the long game to get to where you want to go. Years ago, Jane spied the opportunity she wanted to grow into, but she may not have had the experience or skills to take on yet. Listen in as she takes us through her journey and the key skills and strategies she put in place to get her where she is today. Hi, Jane, and welcome to the show. It's so good to have you here. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Jessie. That it's a really good opportunity for me to chat with you and share my story and also connect with others.
Fantastic. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. So what I'm really interested to kind of get into and dive into your story is that it's a story of planning for the long game and really thinking about, what are the next 2 or 3 steps ahead in your career and really kind of latching onto what that vision is to be able to pull yourself through your career and navigate your way through the business to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So I'm really, really excited to get into this conversation today. So I guess to start with, could we just give the audience a bit of a journey, I guess, of where it is that you actually started in the business and how it is that you've got to the position that you're in today?
Thank you, Jessie. I would say that I've been working as HR professional for over 20 years. Although that, every 3 or 4 years that, I keep changing my role in the organization. But I feel that, the passion inside is I really want to go to the frontier of the business, to directly drive business and directly drive people. I would say that when I have this idea, I talked with my line manager. I remember it's 7 years ago. At that time, I'm the assistant HR director in Great China. I mentioned that I really want to take the challenge, but I really need a trust platform could give me this opportunity. After I raised this requisition, I would say I'm working in a very good platform. Always give people a chance. The chance is that, first you need to speak up your mind. What do you want? And the second, that you need to let more people know you. So actually that, it took me long time, to go to my final journey. I would say that first, I raised my hand and my line manager said that, you need to expose yourself more to let the organization senior leader to know more about who you are and what you could do. I would say my first conversation is not that success because I don't choose the right moment and the right time to promote myself. And even I face that, my audience fell in sleep when I talk about my future.
Jane, just talk about that point because I remember when you told me this story and it was quite hilarious and I'd like to share it with the users. So can you just tell a little bit of a story about that particular moment? So here you are, you've got this idea that you want to kind of speak up to someone in senior leadership and here you are in this time and place and you have the opportunity to do it, and tell us what happens.
Yeah. Actually, this is in a group meeting that, during the break times that we take a shuttle bus to the lunch venue. That journey, I would say, is only 20 minutes from the hotel to the lunch venue. So I thought that, in this journey, it could be a good opportunity. Even it's an elevator speech, but I want to get this chance. But frankly speaking, I would say that I'm not prepared myself well on that session. So when I facing the question, what is your strengths? And what you could do in your blank area, frankly speaking, I would say I'm not prepared myself well. And during my blah blah selling process, I would say that I get my audience bored and almost fell in sleep because he took long flight from US to Paris. You could see that he is still experiencing the jet lag. So frankly speaking, the first opportunity I crashed it. Then that I thought that next time I need to prepare it well. The good point, I would say, this organization always, all the senior leader would always give you the chance. The door is always open. I feel secure and be trusted to try it again and again. Then that I changed a bit my strategy. In the next few years, that every year I use those senior leadership meeting opportunity, still knock the door and raise the voice. But I don't do it in purpose to say that I must get my idea job or my idea opportunity in certain period. I just want to use this opportunity to let people know more about me and also hear their voice that, to be a success business leader, what am I lacking of? Because this would be the journey I prepare myself more closer to my opportunity.
Yeah, that takes a fair bit of self-awareness and humility as well, to be able, to go up to the senior leaders and to say, this is where I would like to go in the business. This is the skills that I can bring to the table. Can you give me some feedback on where I might be not qualified, or I might have a skill gap that I actually need to go and improve on? Yeah.
Yeah.
And make sure that they're awake when you have that conversation.
And I would say that, then on the coming sessions, I get a lot of valuable advice. From that, I've been perceived in this organization a good and a success leader on HR fields and what I'm good at. And if I really want to move to the business side, what I'm missing, like client side, like a finance number side, this, then I understood that, if you wanted to be selected for your dream job, you need to prepare yourself. It's not to wait for that the opportunity comes, you start to prepare, you prepare in advance. Then more and more that, I would say, you exposure yourself, you raise your voice. Then I would say last year, I foresee that, my opportunity comes. And this year, the opportunity, when the opportunity really comes, I would say I get it. Get it is because I prepared it and because that, I got the trust from this organization, from my leadership.
So Jane, this is a period, you've done this over a period of years. When you first started, you said it was 7 years ago that you had that first conversation on the bus where you were starting to put yourself out there. I guess I've got two questions here. The first one is really about when you were first starting to put yourself out there and reach up to senior leadership. I know for some people they can feel quite nervous about doing that. So what was your mindset around that at the time, and what were you thinking when you were going to put yourself forward to these conversations?
I would say first is that, my courage actually is coming from the organization. I could always feel that, those hands put on my shoulder, you could do it. This gave me a lot of confidence or encouragement. I need to move forward, not just keep my voice with with myself. Then that, because I use that session is we have a female leadership seminar. I thought that, that would be a fantastic opportunity for me that, to just raise my voice as I'm also a female leader that, I want to drive my next step opportunity. Although that they have kind of fear or doubt inside, I think that, never try, never know. But I need to try it, right? But when you try it, although the first time is not that success, but we could learn from that. And the next time I could do it better.
For a lot of people, if they can see the end goal of where they want to be, we've become a fairly impatient society, and that we want it now. We want that kind of instant gratification. So how have you remained patient, for lack of a better word, over the years to be able to strategically move yourself into the right position and gather the skills that you needed?
Frankly speaking, I would say that you ask a very good question, especially for young generation. I would say that, the patient remains certain period, won't last long. But for me, I would say that, although during these 7 years, I also got, different opportunity. Like 2 years later, I promoted as Great China HR head, which means that, I also have role change. And I could touching more business strategic part. This is also my way, to prepare myself that, for the next move. And meanwhile, I would say that, more you discover in a business that you feel excited. It's not, you do not need to wait for the real opportunity comes that, you could still, jump into the business via your supporting role, but you could discover more business, and you could also connect with your client. You could, involve more in the contract design piece. Because for us that, it's good that, in our business, HR always act as very important role, which very close to business. Use all those opportunity to prepare yourself. So for me that, after this journey, I would say that I purposely involve more in the business, even in important bidding, negotiation, client communication.
So it's really the journey itself. You're not, while you have the vision for the destination, you're almost trying to pull out the essence of what it is you would be doing in that final dream role, and actually looking for opportunities to, well, obviously you've got to learn the skills, but looking for opportunities to actually enact some of those elements now, and actually just having the curiosity to jump into them and learn and be in that kind of early learning mindset as you're kind of going through. So you never really feel like you're missing anything, because you're actually doing the elements of the job that you ultimately want to hope to get, but you're just doing them in a different way. Would you agree with that?
Yes, you mentioned a very important word is curiosity. I would say that curiosity is really helping me to explore more wider knowledge and a skill based space. Because which that, in the past, I might only focus on HR, but, with this approach, I could get more elements to equip myself, become a stronger leader.
So I suppose that's a way that as you've grown over the years and you've acquired the skills, that would help you to build more confidence that when you actually do get that final role, that it feels like a natural fit or a natural next step, because it's you've already started to collect those kind of skills. I'm curious, can we talk a little bit now about now that you've stepped into this kind of ideal role and you've reached we'll call it a destination, but it's never finished. Obviously, the journey is just begun, the journey of the next chapter. But can you talk a little bit about, what it feels like to actually finally kind of step into that ideal role that you've been looking at for so long?
Thank you for asking this question, dear. I would say that, at the beginning, when I got my idea role, the first feeling is I'm so excited, so excited. I thought that, I have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to do. After 2-3 months, there could have kind of mixed feeling. Mixed feeling is excitement is still there. Then that, could have kind of like a fear, doubt feeling. Why? Because at the end, you see others doing it successfully. When you really step into these shoes, you do it by yourself, you drive it by yourself. You could face different challenges, obstacles. Then you would, as human being, normally you would doubt yourself. Am I make the right choice? Because anyway that, I could be very successful on HR field, but I choose this. I would question myself whether I do the right things, whether I make the right decision. So this feeling would be, I would say that, it's really challenge myself that, the way, the directions that I want to move forward to future. Good point. I would say that I expressed this feeling to my colleagues and also to my mentor. Good point. I would say that I got a lot of help, suggestion, advice, and comments. My encouragement and my confidence actually is really coming from all those people trust you could do it. Then also that myself, I thought that, I could do it. Then I move forward. I would say at the moment, I'm still in the starting period. I want to say that I'm already very successful on this field, but I'm on the way to there. And also another point I would say that, I need to really empty myself, which means that forget about your past background, past experience. So it's more like a cup. In the past, you have full of the water, which is your previous knowledge, skill, competence, which you are proud and confident about. But now that you really need to empty it, which means that it allows you to refill your cup. If it's still full that you have nothing could refill, then that, this would be a painful journey for myself, because I really need to pull out all those waters which I'm good at, then refill in some new knowledge, new skill, new competence. And in this journey, I might feel uncomfortable. But then that this is really the way to develop myself, become the better myself tomorrow.
Absolutely. Jane, I'm taking so much from this conversation already. I could see in the early years of, needing the courage to kind of speak up and talk to the senior leadership, but this idea of needing to build your network and build your visibility of who you are and what you're capable of, but more importantly also what your desires are and what you want to be able to contribute to the organization. And so that's certainly a big piece that I'm kind of taking away from this. And then the second piece is, when you're getting into these you're going along the journey and you're picking up the new skills, you're being curious, and you don't need patience because you're excited about that journey the whole way along. And then when you get into the new role and you get stuck, you're asking for help. And you're reaching out to that network that you've been cultivating over the last few years to ask for help and ask for support. And that's been, that seems to be an incredibly part of your success. And then throwing in a huge dose of being humble. And as you're saying, make sure that your cup of what you know is empty so that you're open to learn about and have the curiosity for what's next and what's to come.
I would say that I always believe that, when when you grow yourself, that, the uncomfortable feeling will come. So when that, all those bad feeling comes, I remind myself that, this is my opportunity to really overcome my net, how can I say, the bottleneck, to become better myself tomorrow. So although that, this is kind of like a mixed feeling behind, but it's a journey. It's a journey I experienced.
So I guess I've got one last question for you, which is what advice do you have for young women that might be starting out and maybe in mid-career and they're feeling a little bit stuck or feeling a little bit like they have an idea of the ideal career that they would like to do, but they just feel like they aren't progressing? What advice would you have for them?
Trust yourself. This is the first element. And stick on what you really want to do. And then that, you are not alone. Find help. Find a mentor or coach who you trust around you to help you.
Excellent advice. I wanted to just ask you now, what would be your 3 key takeaways that you would like to leave people with today?
3 elements. One is keep your curiosity with you, which means that, you could really explore more and become your better yourself. Because everyone's definition on success would be different. But curiosity actually could really let you refill yourself more with different knowledge, different insight, different skill set. And the second, I would say, don't afraid of changes. Because when changes comes, fear and doubt, or even sometimes unconfident might comes along. But it's normal. When you conquer it, you really become better yourself tomorrow.
That's great advice, because we're always, no matter the level that you're at, you're always being challenged.
Yeah. And the third one is that, we are human beings. We are in a community or society. We are not always alone. Find those resources around you to equip yourself, to help yourself, and to grow yourself. And also, one day, the people around you might face the same. That, give your hand to help others.
And I suppose you would find that now, obviously being in a HR role, but also now being a senior person in the business, you would see people that were in your position and helping them out with advice as well.
Yes. Because sometimes I would say, Jessie, when we say that we grown ourselves, we prepare ourselves. One very important element as a leader is you are not only prepare yourself, you also prepare your successor, you prepare your team. So during this preparation, you also help others grow, because I strongly believe help others grow is help yourself grow.
That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Jane. I have thoroughly enjoyed this journey and this story that you've taken on, and all the advice that you've been able to impart wisdom on for us. I particularly love that when you were first starting out and you were trying to have your first confident big conversation with the senior leader and then they fall asleep. I absolutely love that, because I think that, if that happens and you can get up again and continue your path to get to the place where you are today, I think that should help a lot of people with their nervousness around wanting to start their journey and approach, whether it's senior leaders or people that they admire to ask advice from, that they're probably not going to fall asleep. So, they're probably going to have a good starting point. So thank you, Jane. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I wish you all the best on your new endeavor, and I have no doubt that you're going to go from strength to strength. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jessie.
Thanks for joining us on Women Who Lead. Visit my website, jesscarr.com, to sign up for more podcasts and information on Women Who Lead. If you found value in this show, please share it with your friends and be sure to tune in for our next episode. I'm your host, Jess Carr. Bye for now.